Hi everybody, Carol here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm making card number 9 of the Simon Says Stamp August 2019 card kit, Party Like a Panda. So I am showing you how this card is going to work. It's a landscape card with hills and grass and trees, and there will be a sun in this card. So I'm showing that I use a stencil, and I'm using these brushes on all kinds of ink, yellows and oranges. These are clarity brushes, and I also took a marker, an orange marker, and drew around that circle so that when I have to cut it out after a while, I'll have a line to follow. And it may not look as if there's much ink on there, but you'll see when it comes off that there was quite a bit of ink, and I am putting it on a yellow piece of paper to help me out there. I tried to find the middle, took it to the trimmer and cut it right down the middle so that I'll have 2 suns for the price of 1, so to speak. And so now I'm cutting this out and trying to follow those lines there. And you will see where this fits in the card. Now I'm also cutting some grass. And you can use a die if you have one. Of course, I kind of like the randomness of cutting it by hand because no two are going to be alike, that's for sure. And then also I cut the hills out just free form, and I cut them on a pretty wide piece of paper in case they don't look good together. I don't like the shape. I can continue to cut it down and still have enough paper without running out. And then I cut some very thin, varying widths of green strips, 2 different colors of ink, and these are to be the bamboo trees. And just drawing some lines on them with pencil, and I will go back later and do it with the ink, and then with a pen. And then these I'm trying to cut kind of stylized branches or leaves. The branches and the leaves are both thin, and so I'm just literally using scraps that I found on the table, and I'm cutting them down, and just trying to I'm using artistic license here to pretend that these are branches or leaves, because this is just to give it an interest, a feeling, you know, of what it would be like among a bunch of bamboo trees. Not trying to be perfectly accurate by any means. It just gives the idea. So you will see in a little while when I start gluing these down how I put them together. They crisscross over each other. And so I also go around the edges of the hills and even the bamboo trees with this neutral ink, and it definitely makes a difference. If you could see it up close, you would definitely see the difference. And it is extra work, but it just takes such a little bit of time, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm also stamping off the little panda in the kit that is reclining or lying on his stomach, and so I'll stamp off more than one of these and cut them out. Cut one out in this case, and well, one for the card. And then I also go back with some Prismacolors and just color this one item, and it is the little bow tie that goes around his neck. I do try to shade because up close you can see the shading. I do 2. One is more in the orange colors, and one is more in the red or red-orange. And then I'm going to use the word happy, and I liked the way they separated in this stamp set, happy and birthday, so that you can use them both without having to cut them apart. And so I'm going to use the word happy, do several of them, and back them with this black cardstock. The blue is very similar to what's in the kit. It's I didn't have enough of that. This is an 8x10 card, and so I'm starting. They've been these pieces have already been glued and set aside to dry with Tombow Mono Multi, which is repositionable. Putting in the heels, and now I'm putting in the pretty sun to go behind the heel. putting down the grass just more than anything, just to add some color and interest and dimension. And the original piece I had wasn't long enough, so I cut another piece, and very easy to just splice those together, cut it off to fit. And these are on foam tape, so kind of adjusting the foam tape there to where it doesn't show through the blades of grass, and then I'll pull the backing off and place that down. You could actually have 2 rows of grass, one behind the other, and that'd be a cool look too. A little more work though. So here's the darling little panda, and he is just, here's my vision of it. He's just on top of this one little hill, all stretched out with everything behind him. And then here come in the trees. I had put the glue on them already, so but I did want to go back with an ink pen. These are Zig Millennium, and draw those lines in with ink, and so I had to turn them over, but that's fine because then they stuck to the paper and wouldn't move while I was drawing the lines. And since it's repositionable, you can see right there, all I have to do is just pull it off. So I decided to put this behind both hills. Could have put it behind just one hill, and I also wish in hindsight I'd just gone ahead and cut that off. I would have almost half of that left over to be a tree for another project, but anyway, that's okay. And so I'll end up tweaking these trees and their placement later on. Now this is just a kind of a stylized version of a tree. I don't know if bamboo trees are called saplings, but just something that's small and growing in this so-called forest, and just some extra green and showing extra growth. I didn't even draw the lines on it. But anyway, so then I'll cut off the excess there. And at the top, I'm going to cut one off, but leave the other in case I decide to back this with another sheet of paper and then want that to extend over onto the other background. So now here are the little stylized branches, leaves for the wispy look, and when I put them on there, the tweezers are very helpful, and I don't want them to all just be matchy-matchy, all going up. I want some of them to be going maybe out more to the side, just different levels and different directions, and I'm having them to cross over behind and in front, and some of the lighter ones might look as if they're going out of the darker ones, but I kind of just didn't care. I was just going for a look, they're all in there together, and a bunch of branches, and if one sticks out too far and it looks weird, then I'll go back and cut it off. Like in this case, it went past, but there wasn't enough to really stick out, so I just cut it off. And then just a little bit more on the other side of the page to add a little balance there. And as I said, this is not accurate or anything like that. It's just to give the look and the impression. Now I did make one big tree and put it all the way top to bottom on the left, and I'm hoping to give perspective on that. As if it's in the foreground, the others are definitely in the background. So what I've been trying to do lately is just think out of the box. A lot of this paper, or some of it, is from my stash, so but the panda is the highlight of this card, and he's what I'm trying to build it around and make him show off the best. So I'm putting down the black and the white that says happy. It's just happy everything. It's not happy birthday. It's just that right there looks like a happy, peaceful life. I think little Mr. Panda is peaceful. I backed it with green, so now this is a full sheet of green. So now we're back to 8.5 by 11 with the green backing. Otherwise, it's 8 by 10. And so, but I like the extra green, the darker green on the back. It does kind of frame it. And So I'm going to show you what it would look like if you put it on another piece of paper, even make it larger. This is kind of a dusty blue, and so just wanted you to see that. And then also that this would fit into a large envelope. This one is a, let's see, 9 by 12. And the manila looks pretty good because it matches that sun so well. So I'm not opposed to that. If you like the more elegant look of the white, that's good too. This one happens to be a 10 by 13, but it certainly will fit in there. So if you wanted to write a message on the back, I think one good way to do that, since it's so large, is just to put a slightly smaller piece of white cardstock, write your note. If you wanted to decorate it just a tiny bit, you could use some of your leftover stampings like a panda. You could have a bamboo tree. I had the extra happy. You could glue that on there and write your large message on the inside. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll give something like this a try. These stamps are darling. Here are some still shots. There will be some videos at the end you might like to see. And I thank you so much for subscribing and the thumbs ups. It means so much. And I appreciate you. See you soon. Bye-bye.